Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, bringing you another video on how to raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Let's talk today about the devil's number one trick, number one tactic for holding you back and keeping you small. But before we do, I just want to quickly remind you, doors are opening on 11/11 to the New Earth Construction team. If you are a purpose-driven entrepreneur who has struggled to get the business off the ground, maybe it's self-sabotage, fear of being seen, fear of judgment, whatever your block is, we can assist you in this group. So this group is for purpose-driven entrepreneurs who want to overcome the blocks that hold them back from their purpose so that they can manifest abundance and be part of the New Earth Construction team. So if you have not joined already, we would love to see you there. All right, so the devil's number one tactic for keeping you small, holding you back, keeping you trapped is, dun, 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 drum roll please, drifting. Drifting, also known as distraction. So it's so beautiful. This book called Outwitting the Devil was written by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill says that he channeled, others will say he had an interview with a fictional character, however people want to understand it. I do see extreme value in this book. So if you have not yet read it, it is worth checking out. Again, it's called Outwitting the Devil. But in this book, Napoleon Hill states, well, one, Napoleon Hill's own quote outside of this book is that your only limitation is the one that you set up in your mind. And it is very fascinating how that quote was quoted separately from this book and yet very intimately supports everything that's about to be discussed here. So in the book, the devil states that his greatest weapon over humanity is to establish the habit of drifting so that they never get around to their purpose. Now, it's also interesting, and I'll do another video on the 7 strategies that the devil gives to combat him or to keep him at bay. But number one is stepping into your purpose. And it is so amazing that when we start to see people like myself who are creating a YouTube channel or working on coaching, that it's not about the business, it's not about the money, it's about doing divine work. It is about the battle between good and evil. And so I encourage you the next time you receive an email from someone who is offering you something to see that as a hand reaching out to pull you up and to help you, and know that many people, of course, get to know them. Don't be blindly trusting, but many people are wanting to help and here to serve and reaching out to offer a hand if it is in need. And so this really is divine work when we are helping people get out of distraction or drifting. So distraction leads to drifting, right? That the devil wants you to stay in this habit of drifting because it knows knows that it will keep you from doing the very thing that is necessary to combat him or to keep him at bay, right? So distraction can be anything like television, cell phone use, social media. It can be shopping, video games, or getting too focused on anything that in excess that is not healthy. It can be drinking, it can be drugs, it could be smoking. Those are all kind of the things we do know, right? But it can also be something like gossip or fixation on appearances, or even fixation on the spiritual path. The egoic belief that I have to gain another learning, I have to take another course, I have to accomplish, is actually feeding into that separation, the belief in separation. Right. And so we believe that we have to keep consuming or keep achieving to earn enlightenment, when the truth is that we are already whole and complete, and that to keep our focus on the divine is to combat the drifting. And so what we want to do is we want to remember our oneness and stay focused on that. We've been told to guard our minds. We have been told to cultivate our thoughts carefully. We need to really stay hyper-focused. I've mentioned many times before too, that we are in a focus and attention economy, because where your focus goes, grows. So if the devil can get you to drift or to be distracted, it can keep you from really making an impact in the world, which allows him to grow. What we need is an understanding that our focus on the light, our focus on the divine is what achieves and accomplishes, that we don't actually have to be the doer necessarily, but we need to be diligent in our focus. So are you drifting or are you driven? Is a quote from Russell Brunson at the Funnel Hacking Live 2020 event. To drift is to be acted upon. To be driven is to act with God. To drift is to act alone. To be driven is to be in co-creation with the divine, right? Drifting is driven by fear. Fear we may not be enough, fear we might fail, fear we don't have the path outlined, fear we don't know what our purpose is, fear we might be out of control, fear of judgment, fear of criticism. There are so many things. Drifting is hell. Drifting is torture. And yet we choose to do that instead, because going back to Napoleon Hill's earlier quote was the limitations. Our only limitation is the one that we have set up in our mind. That fear, the false evidence appearing real, that we might not be enough or that we might fail or that we can't find our purpose, they are all illusions. So we choose to drift instead. We choose to binge on Netflix or spend our free time on social media. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on how you choose to see it, drifting will become a habit. And this habit of distraction and drifting becomes hypnotic rhythm. And over enough time, it will become your permanent state. Of course, anything with the divine is possible, but without the desire and the willingness to move towards that connection, the oneness, the acting with the divine, this will become a perpetual state. Napoleon Hill defines this as any thought or physical movement which is repeated over and over through the principle of habit, finally reaching the proportion of rhythm. Then the habit cannot be broken because nature takes it over and makes it permanent. It is something like a whirlpool in water, that it is carried round and round, but it cannot escape. Habit establishes one rhythm of thought, and that rhythm the rhythm attracts the object of one's dominating thoughts. Let me say that last part again, because I kind of stumbled there. Habit establishes one rhythm of thought, and that rhythm attracts the object of one's dominating thought. Where are your thoughts? Are they in fear, lack, attachment to outcome, feeling a need to control? Or are they in oneness, surrender, trust, faith? Because both can become hypnotic rhythm. That's the beauty of this, is with dedication, with, I don't even want to say discipline, because keeping your eyes focused on the divine, remembering your oneness, it takes a little effort, but actually it is so much easier and more effortless. It requires less discipline over the course of time. So, as I've mentioned in recent videos, we are one with the divine. We are not in control. Everything is happening through us. We are being lived by life, but we do still have free will. And that is the choice to choose between oneness and acting and co-creating with the divine, or drifting and fear. So to choose distraction and drifting is to choose fear, the illusion, Maya, more of the same. It is choosing to stay stuck. It is a choice to be in hell. To choose to stay focused on your oneness with the divine is to choose peace and happiness and abundance. Because if you are one with the divine, you are infinitely abundant. You are infinitely supported. You are infinitely loved. You cannot lack anything unless you refuse to give it to yourself. And that means the choice to believe. To be driven is to take action, daily inspired, divinely guided action to manifest your dreams, the dreams that were put on your heart, the purpose that you were given, that is your access to your abundance birthright. To be driven is to choose to let go of fear and belief in separation, the belief in lack, and to remember your wholeness. This is how you set yourself free. This is how you choose heaven on earth. I love you, my friends, and I will see you on the next video. Namaste.